You can't show results without data, period. Period. I'm saying it. I'm out there. I'm saying it because you can't. How do you know, right? You're listening to the Web Presence Rockstars podcast with me, Misty Smith of Powered by Rio. If you're an entrepreneur on a small budget and are looking to build and increase your online presence, then you're in the right place. I'm a full-stack website developer, digital marketing strategist, and SEO professional, and I share tips and how-tos on topics on the latest trends such as websites, social media, analytics, marketing, everything you need to know to grow your business online and to become a rock star. Thanks for listening.
Get out of the way, get out of the way. I can do whatever I want, whenever I want. I'm gonna be the biggest rock star that you probably never heard of. I'm gonna be the biggest rock star.
Hey y'all, welcome to 2024 and welcome to a new episode of the Web Presence Rockstars podcast. I'm your host, Misty Crovo, and I hope everyone's having a great year so far. I know we're 3 days in, but I hope it's been 3 great days. And also, I hope everyone had happy holidays and safe and fun with family and friends and all that good stuff. And now you're ready to just jump into the new year with your new website goals and your new business goals and all kinds of stuff. So we're just going to jump right into this episode because I think some of you guys may have a goal to get more website traffic this year. And that's a great goal to have, but you need to make sure that you're doing it the right way, right? So I have a question for you, and it's going to be weird. And it sounds odd, but I'm totally serious, okay? So it's how do you know if your SEO is working if you're not tracking anything? Like seriously. I mean, how do you know? If anyone has an answer to that question, please, please, please voice message me from the link in the show notes or email me or message me or do something because this totally blows my mind. I have no idea how anyone can tell if anything is working, if you're not tracking any type of results from your website, right? If you're paying someone to do SEO and they're not using tracking, how do you know what they're doing is working? Like seriously. Do they provide you with some sort of report? And I don't really know what they would report on. So I guess what it comes down to is that you're spending a lot of money for a service that you don't know what it is from people who potentially aren't being held accountable for results, right? If they're not doing tracking, then how can any result be reported back to you? How do you know if what they're doing is working? So, I mean, it totally blows my mind. And when someone says, oh, hey, I'm adding SEO to my blog post, I mean, what do they mean? Are they using keywords to create their content or title tags and meta descriptions? I mean, maybe, hopefully. But if you're not tracking, how do you know what you're doing is working? How do you know? And again, if I'm missing something here and there's another way to know, please let me know. I mean, other than you're typing in something and you're coming up on the first page in your own Google search, but your Google search on your computer is more relatable to you and your area. So if I typed in your name in where I live and you're on the other side of the country or something, you're not going to come up first maybe. So there's a lot of variables in there. So if you don't have actual data, then you don't know if what you're doing is working and you don't know truly how Google views your website and how people are getting to your website and how many people are getting to your website. Okay, so let's take this from the top. Google Analytics is free. Google Search Console is free. SEO is hard. Keywords don't necessarily help you. You can't show results without data, period. Period. I'm saying it. I'm out there. I'm saying it because you can't. How do you know, right? So, for all you who don't like numbers, I'm going to make this really easy for you. Google Analytics tells you how many people visited your website and how they got there. if they hit it directly, so if they typed in your URL directly, if they found you in an organic search, which is where SEO comes into play, where they type in a search string and it offers your website up as a result, and they click on you. From social media, people clicking on your website from social media posts, referrals, if you have an email list and you're putting your website in your email list, etc. Google Analytics tells you this information, okay? The Search Console tells you what people typed in to get to your website, like the actual search queries. So when I was talking about the organic searches before, that's what I'm talking about. The Search Console will tell you what people have typed in. It'll tell you how many impressions your website has gotten from a particular search string, how many people clicked on your website from that search string, and like your average page rank. So if you're on like 1 or 10 or 110, it tells you that information for a particular search string. So if you just use these tools for this purpose, it tells you all you need to know about how well your website is performing and how you can improve it, right? I mean, there are other tools within Google Analytics and Search Console that are more advanced, but we're not worrying about that now. We're talking about getting a baseline of how many people have gotten to your website, how they get there, and what they've typed in to find your website, okay? So this is just the start of it. So even if you don't have any SEO or any perceived SEO on your website, you can still use Google Analytics and Search Console and get a data baseline and start planning for improvements. For example, you can switch up your content based upon how your search results are being served up. So, for example, if you're only being found by your name or your company name and not by services and products you offer, then there's tons of room for improvement. So let's say you have the domain of your name, so yourname.com, right? So if you type in yourname.com, that's your domain, and generally speaking, you're going to be found for that. But if your business is selling books, for example, I'm just pulling this out of the air, selling books, and someone types in books on whatever your books are sold on, like fiction books or whatever, and you're not being found under that. I know that's super broad, and don't hold me to this. I'm just pulling all this out of the air. I didn't have anything prepared. It was just something that popped in my head. If you're not being found for the services that you provide, then that's a problem, okay? So, your first step is to create a Google Analytics account and install it on the website, all right? Then your next step is to create a Search Console account and attach that to your website. And then you let it run for 30 days. And then after 30 days, you're going to have so much data, it's going to blow your mind. All right, so you don't need to be a techie. You might need to be a little techie to do this, but if you know someone who's techie and they can set this up for you, then do that, because these are the things that are going to tell you how your website is performing, okay? And this is data. And again, you don't have to have a stitch of SEO or perceived SEO on your website to get the data baseline for what you need. Because once you have a baseline, anything that you do as an improvement, your results should increase, right? So you have a baseline, you're ready to go, all right? You're going to know how many people are visiting your website, where they came from, and what they typed in to find you organically. Then you can set goals for improvements. So if you wanted to be found under fiction books, then you can change up your content, or you can actually find a legitimate, responsible, real SEO professional who can help you, okay? So remember, if you have an SEO person who doesn't use these tools, doesn't use tracking tools, who just tells you, oh, you need keywords, that's not a thing anymore. You need more than keywords. You need on-site SEO, you need technical SEO, you need for Google to be able to index your site. Ask those questions to someone that you're wanting to hire. How do you do that? How do you know that? How do you measure results? Ask them those questions before you hire someone. And make sure that they use the tools. Make sure they use Google Analytics and Search Console. And if they have no clue on how to use these tools, then they're not going to be able to provide you any real results. Like, seriously. Or if you're feeling really adventurous and you are techie or tech-minded, you can do it yourself. Or you can ask me. I have my podcasts and I have other things available as resources. I am certified by Google for the Google Analytics 4 on how to set that up and install and use and track and all that kind of stuff. And Search Console, I think, is super easy to use. But if you need some direction, again, reach out to me and I'm going to have some resources for y'all that y'all can click to and you can do it yourself. So if you did your website yourself, then you can do this yourself. Or if you have someone like a website developer that you trust to do all this and to set up your tracking, or if you already have tracking and you've just never seen the results. I mean, I know that happens because I put tracking on every website I build, whether my client asks for it or not. That way, if they say, hey, how's my website doing? I already have the answer for them, and I don't say, oh, well, I don't know. Let's try this and put some tracking on there. I have the tracking from the get-go, so that way everyone can see, and if we make any improvements, I don't do any SEO services unless someone asks for them and pays for them separately for obvious reasons. But I do put the basic SEO on every website that I build. So we already have a baseline of however long it's been running on the website. So you can start with that, and then once you make the improvements, then you can follow the increase in your results and see how well your website is actually performing, instead of just being like, oh, well, I have a website, I guess people go to it. I don't know. And what's the point if you don't know what your website's doing? Like, I'm still mind blown about the conversation that I had that led up to this podcast episode. I just don't get it. And seriously, really, 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 truly, if someone knows of any other way to track how SEO is working on your website without, Google Analytics or Search Console or any type of traffic or tracking reporting, please let me know. Enlighten me, because I don't see it. I don't know. So, all right, well, that is it for now. This is a short little snippet episode. Thank you for listening. And again, I hope you're having a great 2024, and I hope this gets us all off to a great start. And I will talk to y'all soon. Bye for now.
I'm gonna be the biggest rock star that you probably never heard of. I'm gonna